Good morning. It's Thursday, September 5th. I'm Jasmine Anderson. Tensions are high at a high school in West Babylon today after a school shooting threat. Today is the first day of school at Brennan High School. That's part of Western Suffolk BOCES. Police arrested a 15-year-old Lindenhurst boy late last night. They say he threatened to shoot people at the school during an online chat involving other students. First in Newsday, state authorities are now investigating the suicide attempt of the St. James man accused of killing his ex-wife and her boyfriend. Daniel Coppola was supposed to be on suicide watch at the Suffolk County Correctional Facility when the incident happened Monday. He's charged with killing Kelly Coppola and Kenneth Pullman Jr. in their St. James home last week. Coppola is expected to face upgraded charges tomorrow. The Centerport mom accused of killing her 9-year-old son is being held without bail. Carrie Bedrick pleaded not guilty to upgraded charges yesterday. Prosecutors say Bedrick was high on drugs when she caused the wrong-way crash on the Southern State Parkway that killed her 9-year-old son. Her defense attorney and her family say she was prescribed methamphetamines.
She was only on prescription medications, and she's devastated, just like the rest of us are.
Now, if convicted, Bedrick faces 25 years to life in prison. She's due back in court next month. A small decline in summer car crashes on the island. State police say they responded to over 2,000 crashes between Memorial and Labor Day. 536 involved injuries and 5 ended in fatalities. That's 20 less crashes than last year. Northwell Health is looking for partners to recycle sterilized medical waste. The state's largest healthcare provider has been using a new technology called Generations, which turns blood collection tubes, needles, and other lab waste into non-hazardous flakes. Now they are looking for a recycling firm that can make the material useful for manufacturers.
The system utilizes an organic chemical compound and a water solution to disinfect while we macerate the plastic, rendering it safe, unrecognizable, and recyclable.
The trial is part of Northwell's pledge to produce zero emissions by 2050. Only in Newsday, the LIRR's post-COVID ridership is outpacing all other MTA agencies. Newsday transportation reporter Alfonso Castillo breaks down the numbers.
Through the first half of the year, the railroad's ridership really strong. They're now about 80% of where they were back in 2019. And I should point out that that's a year where they went on to set a record with 91 million riders. And if you're a commuter, you see it for yourself the moment you pull up to your parking lot at the train station and you don't find anywhere to park your car. You see it on trains. I was on a train yesterday where it was a standing room. So it's absolutely apparent that railroad ridership is coming back and in a big way. And the numbers are even stronger outside of the rush hours on weekends and during the off peaks, where they've actually been beating 2019 levels for several months, going on a year now.
He also explains why the Long Island Railroad is doing better than other transit providers.
I think the MTA is hanging in there pretty well overall. I think the edge that the LIR has on all the other agencies is the opening of Grand Central Madison, right? So that on top of just bringing back riders that were lost during the pandemic, that brought in a whole new pool of commuters who were looking to commute to Manhattan's east side.
You can read more about this story on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Tons of waste from car shredding is being dumped on Long Island, raising environmental concerns. Virginia Huey has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
This is the end of the road for vehicles trashed by their owners or seized by police. At Gershaw Recycling in Medford, mammoth industrial machines crush and grind thousands of junk cars and appliances at the rate of 1 every 8 seconds. The operation yields hunks of scrap iron, which are sold to steel mills across the country.
It suits our mission and our agenda. 1, landfill as little as possible. 2, recover what we can. 3, generate revenue.
By weight, the company says it recycles 77% of what it takes in. The remaining 23% is unrecyclable material known as car fluff.
There's over 100 different plastics in this pile.
That waste material is trucked to the Brookhaven landfill and buried at a rate of about 110,000 tons a year. The disposal of auto fluff is raising concerns about the potential threat to the environment and human health.
It's not good. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for the people here.
Car fluff is deemed hazardous by regulators in California and Europe. Here in New York, the Department of Environmental Conservation classifies car fluff as a non-hazardous solid waste. There's also growing concern among some residents that car fluff may be contributing to contamination from toxic chemicals known as PFAS, which was recently identified in a new groundwater plume from the landfill. But the DEC issued a statement to Newsday that, quote, a determination of car fluff contributing to PFAS contamination has not been made.
PFAS needs to be banned, like PCBs were banned.
Gershaw Recycling said it believes its car fluff is not a factor in the new plume, citing the contaminant's presence in other common household waste and the landfill's long-standing system of capturing the liquid that permeates through waste. But Georgette Greer-Key, who has lived near the dump for 20 years, is not convinced.
We're constantly worried about, what we're drinking, what we're putting in our bodies. And you have the landfill taking in this fluff. All the plastics and the metals are detriment to our health. According to the EPA, PFAS exposure can lead to increased cancer risk, reproductive issues, as well as immune and nervous system problems. Advocates say environmental oversight of car fluff in New York may be outdated because it doesn't require testing for PFAS. Ash and construction and demolition debris, which are also buried in the landfill, aren't tested for PFAS either.
So these have historically come in at higher volumes than the car fluff, but with the landfill ceasing to accept construction waste at the end of this year, the fluff, if it continues at the current levels, will just make up a higher proportion of the waste that the landfill now takes in.
So the EPA and the DEC really need to step up regulations and testing. When we test the materials, then we know what it is that we need to regulate, because ignorance isn't bliss, ignorance is dangerous.
Brookhaven town officials decline interview requests. While Gershaw's auto fluff has never been blamed for any contamination, DEC public records show buried piles of the material contributed to PCB and PFAS pollution at 2 former scrap yards upstate. The Brookhaven landfill will continue to accept auto fluff through 2027. The town board quietly passed a resolution late last year authorizing a new contract for its disposal there. It will generate an estimated $7 million a year in revenue for the town.
We can no longer be the regional waste and dumping ground for anyone.
But residents in nearby communities say they've borne the burden for far too long.
I understand the landfill is a major source of the income here for the town of Brookhaven, but you have to factor in the health of the folks that live in these surrounding communities.
For NewsdayTV, I'm Virginia Huey.
Read more about this story on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. One of the island's top girls soccer players is back on the field and ready to make her mark. Jolie Katzen has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
It didn't take very long for Bayshore girls soccer coach Paul Forthmuller to see the impact Evangeline Perdomo could have on his team.
I've known Evangeline since she was in 7th grade. She was coming to our open gyms. And right then and there, I knew that she was a special player. She's just a dynamic player. Just her foot skills, her explosive speed is wonderful. And her soccer IQ too. She really understands the game.
Since joining varsity as a 9th grader, Perdomo has made a name for herself. Last season, she finished with 16 goals, making her one of the top goal scorers on Long Island. But she says playing the center midfield position comes with a lot of responsibility.
The game really revolves around the middle, so if you don't control the middle, then you most likely lose the game, because if the middle isn't controlled by your team, then you can't really move the ball around.
4 years later, as a senior captain, Perdomo says she has big goals for herself and for her team.
I definitely want to try to make All-American. Also, I want to bring my team to at least the second round of playoffs. There's definitely a lot of tough competition this year, reversing, but I definitely think we can hang with them because we put in a lot of work on the field. In practice, outside of practice, building friendships on and off the field.
As her high school soccer career comes to a close, although she's not committed yet, Perdomo says she's excited to continue her passion at the collegiate level.
I watch a lot of college soccer, and the way they play so fast, it just seems so fun. So I would love to play that style play.
It's going to be some hard shoes to fill. I mean, she's just a wonderful, dynamic player. Ultimately, what I really am going to miss, just watching her play. But I look forward to her playing in college and definitely catching some of those games.
Jolie Katzen, Newsday TV.
Yeah, best of luck. See Newsday's top 100 girls soccer players on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Here's what's up on Long Island. Check out the Water Lantern Festival. The Light Festival features floating lanterns on the lake designed by attendees. It's Saturday at Salisbury Lake at Eisenhower Park in East Meadow. Or head to the North Fork Foodie Tour. Learn more about the artisanal foods and wines, beers, and spirits of the North Fork. There are behind-the-scene tours of more than 20 locations with stops including Lavender by the Bay and Calverton. It's on Sunday. Art in the Park Reflections is a walkable art display that consists of illuminated art pieces. Check it out this Saturday evening at Milton L. Burns Park in Riverhead. For mission info and more events, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box on our homepage.
One town in Suffolk County has allowed the dumping of 110,000 tons of automobile residue in a landfill every year, crushing concerns. An exclusive Newsday investigation, now available at Newsday.com.
Checking out your hyper-local Thursday forecast. Another nice day out there. Here's a look outside at the South Ferry and Shelter Island. Mostly sunny skies across the island today. Checking out your day planner. Sunny today. We start off much cooler in the 60s, but we later reach highs in the 70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with highs in the upper 80s, or 70s rather. And here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see some chances on the way for rain. We'll keep you updated on that for the weekend.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching.